Hello, my friends. Tyler here. The other day I was reading some comments about not having talent versus having talent and not starting because there were people who were prodigies at it and you felt that you would never live up to them. A little while ago I made a video about misconceptions, having misconceptions, and that prohibits you from being perfect at something. I have a feeling that what talent is, a good description for it, is when your misconceptions line up with it being the truth. Everyone has misconceptions when they first start, and each misconception has a varying level of how much of a misconception it is. I think that when you start off with misconceptions about something, you would call a misconception because you didn't really learn it as a fact. You just kind of believed it. If that lines up with truth, I think that's where talent comes from. Say, if you just have a feeling that you do something a certain way, and you take three people, and they all have that feeling of how they do something that certain way. One person's going to be dead wrong, one person's going to be kind of tangent to it, and one person might hit the bullseye. And we would call the person that hit that bullseye talented, even though really they could have been just as wrong as any of the other kids, any of the other people, but they just happened to be lucky, and that's where they get their talent. They kind of have a head start. They don't have to relearn anything. They don't have to patch any holes. That's where I think talent comes from. And when you realize that talent isn't anything other than being wrong in the right way, I think that can stop the fear of doing something even though there's other people who are more talented than you. I think what a prodigy is a person who has all their misconceptions lined up perfectly aligned. Accidentally, they didn't practice it, they weren't told it, they just were lucky. That's more or less what it is. Everyone's going to have a wrong view of the world. Some people their wrong view of the world lines up with how the world actually is. That makes them a prodigy, but it doesn't mean that you can't become equally as good or better. Just because someone has talent or is a prodigy in a field, I think that's just their starting position. If they don't practice it, if they don't improve upon it, then all they have is that starting advantage. And a starting advantage means nothing against continuous training. Continuous training is good. Having a starting advantage is good. Together, that's the best. But what's really important, the major component in how good you are at something, is how much you're training to be good at it. Seize your life, my friends. I'll see you next time.